Hey everybody. So last time I talked about a technique that I wanted to implement to make my projectiles better for frame rate lag and allowing them to be very fast projectiles. And so the technique was to have them basically stretch from time point to time point. So between two frames, there'll be a position in one frame and a position in another frame. I was going to stretch the projectile between those two, and that way there's no way for it to skip through a model. And in order to do that, I needed to visualize that. At least it helps me to visualize things when I code them. But in order to visualize it, I needed a UI, and in order to have a UI, I needed a UI system. And so there was kind of a rabbit hole of things I needed to change. And so most of the work is not actually visual, but there are some visuals, and so I'll show you those. So now I have a UI system, and it's basically a wrapper for ImGUI, and that's a popular library used in C++, and there's some bindings for other languages too. And it gives you just simple UI behavior, like you can create a window and position it, let it be scalable, closable, that kind of stuff. And so what I've added now is a main menu, and in this main menu you can select between different things. And currently there's only a selection between levels and going back to the main menu. And there's a bug, so when I click I still shoot. But anyways, so I had to create a level system in order to get this working. So this entire thing you see in the background is now a level, and this projectile editor is also a level. So this is where I'll visualize all the changes I'm making in terms of stretching over time and stuff, but I can select levels through the menu now, which is a lot quicker than changing code to load a level. So in the projectile editor, I'm going to be displaying the projectile model, and I will be able to turn these things on and off, which, like, for example, are showing the collision cube, and there's a simulated delta time. None of this is really hooked up yet, but the idea is that I'm going to be able to visualize the frame by frame changes. So maybe like 3 frames, I can watch it stretch between 3 frames and change the simulated delta time to make sure that the stretching is happening correctly and that the collision shape is matching the model and that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, long story short, a lot of changes had to be made under the hood and not much visuals. But now I'm set up to start actually changing the visuals and then hooking up the actual projectiles.